Okay, so this is a half-life problem. Suppose that you start with an amount of a pure radioactive substance, and 4 hours later, only so much of the substance is left, right? So I know if I start with 1.23, half of that would be one half-life later, right? But this isn't that easy. But luckily, half-life problems, they all follow the same kind of pattern, right? So the formula, the basic decay formula is N equals N naught times natural log, right? All that other stuff. But for a half-life, specifically for a half-life, I can put a half here times T over T, the half-life, right? T over T half. Okay, so this is specifically for solving for a half-life, right? I'm plugging in a half here and I'm using this, right? So it looks different than the one we used in class. But I can solve this equation for half-life. So I can divide over the N naught. So N over N naught equals 1/2 times T over T half, right? Okay, so now I can take the log of both sides, and if I take the log of both sides, that'll bring down this exponent, right? So that's going to give me the log of N over N naught equals the log of a half times T over T half, which is the half-life. Okay? And now I'm basically done, right? I just got to simplify this. So in this case, what's N and what's N naught? So N is that number. N naught is that number, right? So I started with 1.23. That's my N naught. This is what I end with. That's N. And then 4 hours later, that's T. So I could do N over N naught, right? Plug that in, solve. So let's see. That would give me, I can divide over this. So how can I write this? T over T half equals the log of N over N naught over the log of a half, right? And so if I do this, if you do log of N over whatever yours is, right? If you do this, you're going to get a number, right? So I'm just going to call it N, right? So this whole thing, when I divide this, I get some number. Well, I won't call it N. I'll call it X, right? So I have X equals T over T half. So if I want to solve for T half, right, we can do our algebra tricks and just switch these two things, right? And so now you can solve for T half because I know what this is and I know T is 4 hours later, right? So I can get this, and I want it in hours, so I don't need to convert my hours. So, I mean, all you had to do was take this equation for half-life, and we had to do some algebra, and it's a little new algebra, right, because we have logarithms, but it's just like every other half-life equation. You plug in and solve.